morning, everybody, once again, and trust us, day is off to a great start. Apologies for the delays. We didn't come out from lab time, so please let's have one house, everybody. Can you hear me at the back? Yeah, thank you. So right about now, we have a presentation on navigating academic grant success, a personal experience story that will be shared by Professor Oji Ademowo, and it's from the Institute of Advanced Medical Research and Training, College of Medicine, University of Ibadan. You are welcome, sir. Please let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you. I want to say good morning to everybody. I am very pleased and delighted to be among you here on the invitation of Professor Abolaji, who has asked me to give you some kind of pep talk, and especially using some of my own experience. And I know why he thinks wants me to do that with you. Number one, because he knows that you need those kind of experience to guide you, so that you will be able to know how to do the right thing and how to manage yourself, how to help yourself to develop your career. What are the kind of things that you can be doing that will be inhibiting your development yourself? So you actually really need to have a good knowledge of all these kind of things. And also, for somebody like for me, I also started from the scratch, and I have gone a long way in the world of science. I tell people that I have traveled to every continent in this world, but I've never gone for holiday one day. All my travels have to do with science. So, but that does not mean that when you do science on the side too, you do some socials. I mean, which also is part of what keeps everything going. But precisely, he said I should talk about the issue of grantsmanship. I will tell you that everybody should know that in this research world, which we belong to, other people belong to other worlds, but we are in the research world. For you to be able to do any good research, you need funding, however big or small. There is no research that does not require materials or that does not require funding. Even if it is you using questionnaires to collect data from people, you find out that you have to buy papers, you have to transport yourself to wherever you want to go. Maybe you have to spend some money on data to call, make some arrangement, and then most of the time you have to process the data. So to process the data, you also need some funding for that. So, which means that we must always think of how can we get this fund. And I must tell you that everybody has a capability of getting funded at whatever level. There are grants that are meant for students. There are some that are meant for early career, some that are meant for middle level, some that are meant for established scientists, some that are meant for generally for everybody. But I always tell people that don't waste your time applying for what you don't fit in. If they say this grant is only for a particular gender or female, and you are a man, you are a known man, you don't want to claim falsely that you are a female, why do you waste your time? Or they say it is meant for those from Southeast Asia. For God's sake, you are an African, so why waste your time? So the other thing one can do in that kind of situation is probably to look for somebody who is more qualified than you, and then make the person a PI. I have an experience recently. Some people, maybe just about a month ago, some people wrote a proposal when they developed a concept and they were going to submit it for NIH funding. And then there is this clause in it that whoever will be the PI must have a grant on infectious diseases that will expire at least 18 months before the expiry, 18 months after the expiry date. So the proposal is meant to be submitted in August. So which means that from August, you must count another 18 months for which you have an active research grant funding. And that research funding must be in any infectious diseases. So they looked for people, they could not, so they just met me. They did not even know that maybe they wanted me to help look for such people. Then I said, oh, let me look at my own funding. When am I going to? Then I saw that I still have 28 months on my grant for it to finish. That is if I don't seek extension. But at least on paper I have 28 months. Now, so which is I am qualified. Then we have to look for another person in the US too who has the same qualification now. So the person we got has only 14 months, you see, it's short. Let me tell you something, only last night that I got somebody else, somebody with whom I had written the proposal a long time before, and we did not succeed. So I now just said, let me try this person. Oh, he was so excited. He said, oh, he fulfills all that. And said he was very happy to collaborate with us. So you see, so that's how it is. Sometimes, if you think it is not tailored towards you, don't try. Because there are many. What I'm trying to say here is that there are many of such grants. If you search for, you will get so many databases, so many. Every day you are having new call for proposals at different levels. For me, almost every day I send out all these calls to different people because there are plenty of them on the social media all over the place, those databases. So, however, what do you do? How do you ensure that you are able to get the grant? First of all, you must think of the concept. For you to think of the concept, you yourself must have some value. You must have some good knowledge. You must have some skills. You must have what you can put on the table. So if you already have some knowledge yourself, it's not just writing what you don't know about. Those that want to fund you, they want to know what you're able to do yourself. They can write. Especially these days of AI. You can ask AI to write many things, and AI will write excellently well. But are you able to defend it? Or do you really have what it takes? Because they're going to ask questions. Let us see that about yourself. What have you done? And one other important thing is any work that you do, even if it is your bachelor's degree work that you do that is very, very good, you have good results in it, try and publish it. Or MSc work, publish it. You do some work with other people, publish it. Any work that you don't publish, in science, it is like it is not done because nobody can cite it. Even you yourself cannot cite it. If you want to cite yourself, sorry. So you see, so you must make sure that you have papers to yourself. You don't have to have large volume, especially when you are starting small. You are start gradually. Plan yourself well. And how do you plan yourself? You must understand yourself first. You must there's something that is important for younger people like you. You must be a good time manager. Your time. Because you find that you have too many distractions, especially for those of us that are in Nigeria here. we have a lot of distractions. If you're not careful, you will not achieve anything. It's not because you don't want to achieve, but so many things, some kind of news just filter in. You want to work, and then you get to where you want to work, something is not in place, or the road is just blocked. You say because of one security reason or the other, you cannot move. So what will you do? Or you get to, and then they say there is a major power fault somewhere, and then you cannot have power for days or even weeks. So what do you do? So this is why you have to make sure that you are prompt in everything that you do. You manage your time. You know, study your own self and know your best productive time. For me as a person, what I have seen about myself over the years is that my best time that I achieve is early in the morning. I wake up at 5 a.m. I don't do that every day anyway, but I wake up at 5 a.m. and I work till about 8 a.m. and can tell you that sometimes what I have not been able to achieve for 2 months, I can achieve that particular moment. Especially when I'm writing some reports or writing some proposal or developing some concept. But one other important thing is that when you want to develop concept, how do you develop concept? You must get information. You must look at what from those information, what are the gaps in knowledge? And how do you get information? You must read. There's no other way. You must read articles. You must read. Yes, you must read articles. You must visit some websites. You must attend conferences and seminars, and then you try and see what you can make out of those meetings or lectures that you have attended. And then you ask yourself questions. Oh, what if I want to replicate this? This is done using, is done maybe in Plasmodium. And then you think, oh, why not look at this same gene in bacteria? Or why not look at it in some, or it's done in some form of some other animals and you want to think of other, those kind of things to come to you. And when it comes to you, for me, what I do, those concepts, I write them down. Sometimes the concept I wrote 4 years ago, it is today that I will utilize it. It happens like that. But once it comes like that, just write it down somewhere. It really helps. I'll tell you that. And then as for, so that we don't deviate too much, as for the issue of grants, like I said, when you search for grants, you will see the ones that are suitable for you. Write them. When you write, give it to other people to read for you. Sometimes when you write something, because you are the one reading it, something will be missing. You will not see it. Ordinary is can be missing, but you will not see it. You will be reading is there, but it's not there. When he now looks at it, oh, but this is what I know is, oh my God, I didn't know. So this is, so that's why it is good to always want to also look at your work before you send them out. And when you send them out, if you get it, if you didn't get it, usually, oftentimes, they write the reason why you didn't get it. And then you can use that reason to correct yourself. It's like you send paper to a reviewer, and then the person, the editor will send you reviewers' comment, even though they have rejected it. But you have seen the reviewers' comment, and that will guide you in improving on the paper. If you have to go back to the field, go back. If you don't have to, maybe you need to restructure the paper, restructure it, and then it will make the paper a better. All of us have had one paper rejected at one time or the other. So once you have the rejection, me, I don't feel rejected when they reject my paper. I polish it and then I send it to another. So many times I send it to a better journal. And sometimes when it gets to the journal, they think that I am a special human being. They did not know that I have combined many reviewers' comments that has made the paper. But the most important thing that the credit goes to you. That's the most important thing. So the same thing with grantsmanship. I can give you a personal example. There was a time I wrote a proposal on something to do with diarrhea between myself and my one of my collaborators in Germany, and we did not. We wrote the science very, very well, the science aspect. Uh, what we're going to do, looking for certain genes, gene expression, doing some sequencing. You know, we do. In fact, we scored 100% in that. But do you know what we were short on? Because what the funders are asking for, they're asking for the aspect of dissemination. It was very important in the call. But we did not dwell so much on that. Well, we dwell so much on the science. So on the science, we got 14 over 14. Now, for dissemination, which is 6, we got 2. The other group that got it scored 4 over 6 in the area of dissemination. So you see, for that reason, we lost that grant. So what I'm trying to say here is that you must look specifically at what the funders want. First of all, are you qualified for it or not? If you are qualified, what does the funder want? What area or priority area are they looking at? What are the things they want you to address? Also, when if I'm getting reference from somebody, some of these funding bodies, maybe the type you will apply for, they will ask you to get reference from. And in that, there are some areas they want your reference to address. You know, you are not the one that is writing it. But the onus is on you to let your referee know that this is the area they want to emphasize on. They want to know your strength, your weakness, and things like that. So he must emphasize on all of it. It's not just writing about you, you're a good man, you went to school, you have a PhD, and then you have had some skills over the years, but there are some other areas that they want address. So the onus is on you. If it is not there, it is not there. So it means that you are going to lose some scores in that. Okay? So all these little things count together. But the most important thing is that you try and understand what you are doing. And then I must also tell you that you can ask questions, even if you want to apply for it, and you have the address of the program manager, whoever is in charge. You can ask questions. It's not an offense. It's not as if you are cheating in exam. Some people think that if they ask the program officer in charge of the funding, that maybe it's a form of cheating. No, it's not. You can ask questions. Am I qualified for this? What you want to ask again? What exactly do you want from the call? Because they have advertised it. Even if they don't advertise, there are some unsolicited grants. You just look at a funding body, maybe IFS or whichever, many of them, and then you just look at what is their priority area, and you think you can work. Maybe it's something to do with drug development or whatever. So you see what it is, then you want to submit to them. You can still ask them questions as well. So all this also helps, but everything depends on you. But one thing I will tell you also is that if you don't write, you cannot get. Write. If you fail, that tells you that will encourage you. You only need one. Even if you write 6 or 8 before you get one funding, that is the jackpot for you, and that has launched you into the real world of science. So you'll be doing. There's a professor in England, Professor Brian Greenwood. I told I'm a malaria person. He works in London School. before. He's retired now. I met him in Heathrow. We were going to the US, and I was talking to him. And then he said, "Oh," he said, "he sees my name in publications." Now, so I told him, I said, "Well, one of the problems we have is with this problem with funding, but one is managing to get some funds to do some work." He told me, he said, "Oh, why are you worried about that?" He said, at his level, he was the chairman of Bill Gates Foundation for uh, Malaria Research Funding. He said, up till a month ago, that was then, that he still wrote proposal that failed, that was rejected. So he said, why should I feel bad? So he was advising me that why should I, that you know, this is somebody else who reviews, who is chairman of Bill Gates Foundation that dishes out money for research. But he too is involved, you know, there's some other side that he said he still, his own proposal still failed. So, which means that if your proposal fails, it's not a sign that you are a no good person. So it is you that will encourage yourself. And then it's good to also apply for as many as possible. But don't waste your time on one that you are not qualified for. Okay? So thank you. Maybe you can ask questions.
I want to make it as fast as possible. So, question. Okay, yeah, we'll start from you.
Good morning, Prof. Thank you very much for the presentation. You made mention about if there's a grant,
About
you you made mention that if there's a grant and
yes.
you happen not to be um, meet all the criteria, you can meet someone else with the PI.
Yes.
How do you navigate having conflicts of interest as regards that? Because um, there's an experience that we have. So there was this grant that we applied for. So we made someone the PI of that grant. Then the person was now trying to control the money, despite the fact that the idea was not the person's idea, but because the person tends to like fit perfectly into the profile for that grant. So that's number one. And then number two, you talked about having other people review some of the things you've said. During some of the sessions we've had, Prof. Reagan said something about in research you have to not
Yes.
feel everything.
Yes.
So what happens when you share it and then someone else runs with your idea? How do you navigate that?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
I will quickly answer that. First of all, you see, when you make another person the PI, sometimes you can have some kind of agreement, but oftentimes it's just a kind of trust between each other. The truth is that anybody who is the PI is the one that the funding body will recognize. All the others, yes, they recognize you as part of the grant, but it is because of that person's own qualification profile that you were able to get the grant. So the onus is on that person to ensure that, okay, you are the one that brought this to me, that you also you play a significant role in it. When I always tell people that when you are doing research, don't first of all think of what is in it for me. It's not a good mentality. It is how are we going to succeed with the work. That should be what should preoccupy one's head. And that is what makes we scientists happy when we're able to achieve, when we are able to create impact. In fact, you go home and sleep, you are very happy with yourself. You go to conference, you say, this is my contribution, you need that kind of thing. So, and I think the first thing is satisfaction. If you have 10 cars and you are not satisfied, you are not going to even ride more than one car at a time. So, yeah, that aspect, so you can make some agreement with, especially if it's somebody remote, somebody with whom you don't have any relationship with before. You can, okay, I'm bringing this, please, I'm going to play this role in it. Let me tell you, when funders give you already approved for you to do a particular work, their primary interest next is how do you deliver? You You are the one who will now know how you want to deliver. You cannot invite many people you know that can give you results. You now invite them into it. Do you know that when we write proposals, sometimes we know how we're going to succeed in delivering it, but you don't put those things down. If you put it down, the viewer may not even understand you. It can even cause you problem, and you may not get it. So you keep quiet about that. You write it well, the way it would be acceptable to them. And then once it is acceptable, you now invite people into it. Let me give you an example now. I have a study ongoing. It said I can only have 4 co-investigators. But I found out that I needed more than that. But to submit the proposal, I submitted 4. Okay? But I knew that I need like 6 for me to deliver. And then I still even need some others. So that was what I did. So do you know that when I want to pay them honorarium, I still leave only those 4. What I tell others, I said, look, this honorarium you are going to get for 2 people, but you are going to sign, and then you know that, okay, you are getting 3,000, but this 3,000, you are going to give 1,000 to him, but you are going to sign the 3,000. The most important thing is that the work is done properly. But I know that if I don't bring him in, we are going to meet a brick wall. We won't be able to deliver. And I don't want to get stopped. Okay? So these are some of the. And then as for the issue of review, other people looking at your work, somebody can steal your idea, yes and yes. But I will tell you that it's not all the time. It's a risk. Which is why I said when you have a concept, I give you, as I said, always write down your concept. But you see, a lot of the time, you also see how to share this concept with people. Sometimes when you share those concepts, another person will make another suggestion to it that will make it even thicker and stronger. Okay? Any other one? Okay.
One of the most successful researchers, as far as I know, in the College of Medicine.
Okay.
You may not know me, but I know you very well because I happen to be a UIT.
Okay.
So I know you very well. What do you think is the most important secret that actually made you successful?
Well, I will say something. Well, I will say that number one, you have to know what you want. Number two, you have to choose a good mentor. A mentor that will serve as a role model, the kind that you want. Okay? So when I was starting early, my supervisor, who is also my mentor, your supervisor does not have to be your mentor. You may have another mentor. So there are some people that I mentor, I'm not their supervisor. So you have to choose a mentor that you think you want to be like. And a good mentor-mentee relationship, you must have each other's ears, which means that you have to be able to go to the person and say, and talk and ask questions and say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. What is your suggestion? It doesn't have to have solution to 100% everything, but it can give you a lead and say, okay, let us talk to this other person. Why not consult this other person? Why not do that? So mentorship is important. And also, you yourself, I say something about your time management. Minimize distraction. You must minimize distraction. For me, I have what I tell my postgraduate students, especially PhD students, I tell them that I don't want them to. If you are working somewhere in another university, I tell you that, well, yes, I can tolerate you working there, but you cannot hold any duty position. You cannot be director of anything. You cannot be head of department. You cannot be the coordinator of whatever, because it's a lot of distraction for you. You are a PhD student. When you finish your PhD, then you can go and be doing all that. So those are the things that I tell my own students. So you should try as much as possible to also minimize distraction. And also, all these politics, I think you should just face your science. When you finish, then you will see how you can put that into perspective. It also includes the issue of religion. Many of our people, they go and sleep in prayer houses, in churches, mosques, 24/7, every day. They have one church program or the other. I'm not saying you should not go to church. I'm a Christian too. I do go to church. But it shouldn't be, it's not God that will come and help you to do your work. God does not help anybody. God can only, if you pray to God, God can give you good, but God will not come and help you to write good things or perform your duty. No, it is still you. But you will thank God that God has given you the endowment to be able to achieve that. Okay, so those are some of the, but we can talk of that tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Ademowo.
Okay.
We all know you very well. You're our teacher. I have this question that has been bothering me. I went back for my master's after 16 years of leaving the school, and the problem was I was not at a place where I could get biochemistry done. Instead of going for biochemistry in my master's, I went for MBA like that. But yes,
Okay.
the opportunity I had.
Okay.
So when we came down here, I went back to UI and I've started. But now the problem is the age. If we apply, they will say, okay, if you are more than 40, if you are more than 35, if you are more than 50. So what do you have for us? Our generations.
Yes. That is why I said you must look for what is suitable to you.
Yeah.
I can tell you that as you see the ones that say your age must not be 30, more than 30, must not be more than 40, there are others that don't stipulate age. Yes, you will get. There are plenty, many opportunities. So don't bother, don't worry yourself about those ones that are not qualified for. You can only, if you, like we said, if it is the one that you can ask somebody else to write, and then you are just part of the team, so be it. But you will find the one that is suitable for you.
Faculty.
And also, if you are looking for a particular one that is only at your level of financial, your mindset, for example, now, maybe your objective is to have maybe 300,000 or 100,000 for your projects. And you happen to see the one that is $1 million that you are not qualified for. You don't need to run away from it. You can still meet somebody that you think will be able to fit in appropriately. There was one, I think for Japan, it's actually a big grant for institution. And our purpose at Ademowo to be the PI on that. We applied for it, although we didn't get it. So you don't need to limit it to the stipulated amount before you contact somebody that will be appropriate to be the PI. And in selecting the PI, not just anybody. Is that okay? Somebody that you are confident that you are. If you are not confident of the person, don't approach the person to avoid conflict as much as possible. Because the ultimate goal for the grant is not for you to feed your family, build houses, buy good cars. No. The money is not yours. The money is for the projects. And you have to, as much as possible, be disciplined with that. And once you get it done, and you get it done well, you will get more. Like maybe Adimat can comment on something they went for in Lagos, and they told them that people in a particular area, they have identified them that they don't actually utilize research grants effectively. So you don't want to be in that association. Is that okay? You don't want to align. is somebody that you cannot be, you cannot actually ascertain of the person's integrity when it comes to funding. No matter how big the money is, I will identify one equipment that the money cannot buy. We identify something that 1, 2, 3, the money will not cover. But if you are looking at it with respect to what will come to you, it will be difficult for you to do the right.
Thank you so much. Any other comments from faculty? Comment? Any comment? Okay. All right. Any other comment? Let me check online. Okay. We don't have questions or comments. So thank you very much for your time, sir. I mean, personally, I've also learned a lot, and grant issue, and when you don't get the opportunity and you feel like it's about you, internalizing the rejection is something that speaks to me as well very well, and it's something I'm working on. Even if you've gotten some in the past, there's a way. If the rejection keeps coming back, this year alone I've had more than 20. Yeah, so there's a way when it comes back to back, you just feel like maybe I'm not all that. Maybe that one was just luck. But now that I've heard from you as well, it's something that is also encouraging to go back to the drawing board and not give up on applying for opportunities. Thank you very much, sir. Please let's give him a round of applause.